This is an old tale my granddad told me. He met a fella who went by the name of Amos Black. He used to make his living selling borrowed things that didn't belong to him. That's why my granddad met him in court. He was a strange fella, the sort of fella that bites both fingers of a Kit Kat at once without snapping them. He told me of a town in Lancashire, Great Little Pumpton. You'll never see it on any map, he said. It's a town where strange things happen. We arrived at Great Little Pumpton on this fine summer morning to find the streets empty. It was Wednesday, half-day closing. The only living soul he could see was a dog outside the library. As he walked past, the dog halted him with his big black paw. He said,
"How do, stranger? The name be grim. Here's 3 lessons you must always heed. Always bring back library books in a timely fashion. Don't go swimming after drinking pop. But this is the most important lesson. Don't eat a pie from Annie Donnett's pie shop."
Now a smarter man would have known that when you see a talking dog it's time to go. But Amos was not a smart man. So he ignored the talking dog's warning, and he soon came across a less than fine looking bakery, the fated Annie Donnett's pie shop. It was the only shop open, so he went inside. It smelt worse than a fish market on muck spreading day, but he was hungry. Behind the counter was an old woman and a young lad with a look at Les Dawson. The old woman offered him a pie with a gleam in her eye, and as he bit into it, he felt it fire up his gizzards. His heart fizzed like a sherbet dib-dab. Amos turned to the old woman and said,
"Annie Donnett, those pies are reet good."
Little did he know that this pie was to seal his fate.
Amos, you're bewitched by this bakery. All you see within your mind's eye is that tasty pastry treat that makes all things our eat. That's Annie Donnett's cursed meat pie. Now,
Well, before you could say, "Ne'er let your yearnings get ahead of your earnings," Amos was demanding another of Annie's famous meat pies. Annie handed him pie after pie, and they went down his gullet faster than a Rita chasing Alan Bradley. Amos needed the taste of that pie, but Annie raised her hand and said,
"Stranger, you've eaten all my pies. You've eaten me out of house and home. You'll have to wait for another batch tomorrow."
Now Amos was full of sorrow, but he knew what he had to do. Find a bed to sleep in and wait for more of her meaty goodness. So he found a bed in the local inn and stayed there and waited for the next day to begin. He didn't care. He was happy eating pie, sleeping and dreaming of pie, waking up and eating more pie. And there he stayed for many nights and days. All he wanted was a whole mess of the pie. He forgot about his life outside Great Little Pumpton. And then came that cursed morning that led to the downfall of Amos Black.
Amos, you're bewitched by this bakery. All you see within your mind's eye is that tasty pastry treat that makes all things our eat. That's Annie Donnett's cursed meat pie.
On that fateful morning, an excited Amos arrived at Annie Donnett's, most expectant of her fine meaty goodness. But he was faced with a Les Dawson looking boy he'd seen that first morning. The shop was all boarded up, and the Les Dawson looking boy was hammering a sign on the door that said, "Closed for business."
"But what about my pies?"
shouted Amos. Les Dawson looking lad laughed.
Looks like it's just hard cheese from now on for you, Amos Black.
The boy laughed harder when he saw how vexed Amos was getting by the situation. Now you can't keep trouble from visiting, but you don't have to offer it a chair. The boy was just about to find that out, because Amos, madder than a donkey on a hot day in Blackpool, shoved the lad harder than clogs on cobblestones. The lad fell. Lad wasn't good at nailing up big wooden signs, because it smacked him on the noggin, and when that lad fell, Amos realised with horror he was not getting back up. Well, it just so happened that the Knit and Natter group were just leaving the library at that very moment and saw just what was going on. Now that group of fearfully fierce women with knitting needles in hand rounded on Amos and pinned him to the corner shop notice board like a sign selling used bicycle clips. But before the police could come to deliver retribution, Amos broke free and beyond rebuke ran from the town of Great Little Pumpton. But as he ran from the town, there was one that was not surprised. The dog named Grim. And with a smile in his eyes, he walked away, knowing that no matter how hard Amos tried, he could run, but he would never fully hide. For weeks, Amos evaded the townsfolk, hiding under bridges, but the Knit and Natter group were fierce ladies and were soon on his trail. Amos was about to give up when he stumbled upon a tavern that looked dodgier than a paint-pot-marked tartan. As he walked in there, sat by the fire, was old Annie Donnet, and he fell at her feet.
Please, Annie, before the townsfolk take me away, can I have one final taste of your finest meat pie?
Annie shook her head and said,
If you're looking for the pie maker, I'm not the one. You're looking for the lad that had the look of Les Dawson.
And those were the last words Amos Black said to me before I placed the black cap on my judge's wig and condemned him to his fate.
Amos, you're bewitched by this bakery. All you see within your mind's eye is that tasty pastry treat that makes all things our east. That's Annie Donnet's cursed meat pie.
Shut your complaining and all of your fears. You'll be crying nigh on 40 years if you fail to listen to him and ignore the warning from the dog named Grim.